Oh, hello everybody, how are you all doing? So to continue with the theme of daily videos and also to do a preview for the game tomorrow against Werder Bremen, we get to discuss the game. I don't know how much there will be to discuss, but yeah, just preliminary thoughts, I guess I'll ask you. Um, Obviously we've been pretty poor recently, and I think that's a bit of an understatement, but we've been pretty bad for a while now. Now last game we won, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it was 2-0. Um, my question, yeah, it was 2-0. My question to you basically is just this. Do you think we're going to keep this little winning run that we've got? Do you think we're going to keep this alive and actually turn it into a streak? Or do you think this will be a tough game that we'll draw or eventually maybe even lose? Well, just your preliminary thoughts. What are those?
Yeah, last week we got a 2-0 win at the bottom of the league team, and I think we were at home. So I think it's not like I I, I think it's more of a one-off more than like a pattern. So I think Werder Bremen's not the best team in the Bundesliga. They're in like the lower half, I believe. I think they're like maybe 13th or around there. So my guess is, and we're playing away as well, which will be tough. So I'm thinking we'll probably get a draw out of it. I think a win would be hopeful at this point. I think draw is probably the most realistic. I don't think we'll lose. I hope we don't, but I think we'll do and end up getting the draw just because I don't think our if I don't think our attack can just break them down as easily. I think Choupo-Moting's still out, so you're losing a big guy in the box. You can't really cross it into him. Gnabry, Sané, Coman, these guys aren't gonna. They won't get you goals week in week out. So I think we're gonna struggle with the goals end again. Um, Controlling the midfield too is something we can't really do too well either with Goretzka, and our defense is prone to errors. I don't know if Upamecano's out. I think he might be, but we do have injuries at the back regardless. So I think it'll be tough. I think we'll get a draw. I think 1-1 or 2-2.
You know what's crazy? So I took part in yeah, a Werder Bremen website who asked me a few questions to answer, and they had a whole article written about it. And I think, according to them, we beat them 5-2 last time.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I saw that score, and I was just like, do I think that's gonna happen this time? And like for the life of me, I could not think that we'll score 5 goals. Now in terms of Bayern, Upamecano is indeed out, as is Stanisic and Goretzka. So it's very likely that, well, we'll either have Musiala play next to Kimmich, or the more likely option is Gravenberg.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Obviously, Gravenberg's season has been up and down, up and down. So the question really is like, is he? Do you think? Well, okay, I'll ask this question, I guess. Do you think he'll go with Musiala or Gravenberg?
I forgot Goretzka got he can't play, but I think he'll get a lot of heat if he goes with Musiala, just because I think in general people would say Gravenberch had a good game when he did come on last
Mhm.
week.
Yep.
And you see like the comments of Matthaus saying, why isn't Tell getting more game time? Why isn't Gravenberch getting more game time? I think at this point he's kind of Gravenberch has to like force his way into the conversation, especially with the Goretzka not playing. So my guess is Gravenberch will be the one to play in the next to Kimmich. And I also think that too, just because Tuchel doesn't seem to be a big fan of Muller starting every week. You see Musiala kind of in that spot now, kind of growing into it under Tuchel. So I think it'll be Gravenberch next to Kimmich with Musiala playing a little bit further forward.
Okay. Um. Yeah, I think I think Gravenberg is definitely going to start. Like, just based on the fact that he had such a good performance on the weekend last week. I think he has to start, because if he doesn't, then we'll definitely selling him.
Mhm.
Like, if the club keeps saying, oh, you know what, we're keeping him, we're keeping him, but then when it comes to time to actually play him, you don't play him, then there is no point having all these arguments and debates. And he already comes out with weekly statements, but essentially saying that, oh, um you know I, I want to leave. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to go. I want to go where I'm playing. And if his main rival really is out, and that's before any reinforcements that we'll potentially get in the summer, then it's clear that you don't trust him if you don't play him in this game. And especially against Werder Bremen, who, no offense to them, but they are bottom of the Bundesliga as well. Like, if you can't trust the kid to start against them, then I'm sorry, but that's just not good enough. Then you either have to sell him or, or you have to start asking questions. Well, we're in a bit of a dilemma, really, aren't we? Because Kimmich always has to start. So that so an option like, for example, just hypothetically speaking, an option like Gravenberch and Musiala. Actually, what do you think about like an option like Gravenberch and Musiala next to each other?
I think it's just too forward-minded, I guess. Like, you're going to lack a lot of defensive cover, especially because with our defense being shaky at the moment, too. I think maybe if the game's pushing on a bit and you're like, if it's a draw or if we're losing and you really need a goal, that's something you can consider. But I don't think it's probably the best in terms of like balance for the midfield, just because I think like Musiala and Gravenberch in some ways are pretty similar. So I don't think it's probably the best to have like two players of kind of similar profiles side by side next to each other. I think it would only really work if you do desperately need a goal, if you're losing or if it's a draw and you need a point, or if you need the 3 points.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Um, I, I kind of now that I said that, I kind of want to see it just once, just
Mhm.
once. But again, with the league being so close and everything, I can understand why a manager wouldn't want to take risks. Yeah, I don't know. This game, I don't know how to judge it because I don't know how we'll do. We've got Thomas Tuchel himself joining us. Cole, how you doing? Yeah, how you doing?
I'm good.
Good. So my question to you that I asked Daniel as well is what are your preliminary thoughts on the game against Werder Bremen? Like, how do you think we'll do? Do you think we'll win? Do you think it'll end up as a draw or loss? Who is the standout players, etc., etc. Just your basic thoughts, your preliminary thoughts so far.
So I'll just talk really quickly because I gotta go do something with my father. So for me personally, I expect I really want to see Ulreich in goal. I don't know why.
That's not gonna happen.
No. But I think it makes sense for us to start playing Ulreich because in Bundesliga he's much better. He's much better in Bundesliga than in Champions League. So I'll say Ulreich in goal. But for me, personally, it won't be an easy game. Nicholas Füllkrug, I know, is injured, but I've seen Bayern, and I've seen Bayern drop points before. So all I can say is please drop Sane. Please drop Sane because Sane, like now, I'm finding out that it's Sane who's the problem. It's not Mane. Sane is the actual problem.
Oh my God. Okay, explain. You need to explain that. You
Yeah,
can't just say that.
because how come Tuchel? I mean, I've seen the training pictures and everything. Tuchel is, really encouraging Mane. It looks like he really likes him. He's played in the past 2 games. Sane's been on the bench for the past 2 games. I mean, don't you guys see, like, I don't think Tuchel likes Sane. I think it's those reports are saying that he likes Sane is a lie because he doesn't like him. Because obviously he doesn't like him as a player, and I think it's better off that we cash in on him in the summer. But again, we need to win this game. If we lose this game or we draw this game, no, Tuchel's the right manager. Tuchel's the right manager. If we lose this game or we draw this game, it's game over because I think Dortmund will come back and win their next Bundesliga game. So for me, I'm a little bit skeptical, but I like that Goretzka and Upamecano's not playing because those have been the two Achilles heels. And finally, they're just not playing. Even when they come back, I don't think Tuchel's gonna play those guys. I think they're gonna be benched, to be honest. So yeah. But our problem, my other problem is, against Hertha, the first half we had the ball in the final third, but nobody really could put the ball in the net, and we were just really poor in the first half. Um, yeah, I'm just, I don't know, man. I'm gonna say I hope we win tomorrow. I really hope we win tomorrow.
Well, do you think we will? Not hope, but do you think?
I don't want to jinx myself, but I think we will.
Okay, there you go. Very simple answer.
Mhm.
Well, my question then to all of you, I say all of you, there's two here. My question to both of you then basically is this. There's one here. My question to you then is, it's a very simple one, and that is that how do you think the rest of this campaign will go? Do you think it's going to be like, do you think it's going to be us winning the Bundesliga, or do you think it's going to be Dortmund losing it? As in, like, do you think we will actually like beat the teams ahead of us, and that's how we win the Bundesliga, or do you think that we'll lose or draw, but Dortmund will just do a Dortmund and lose and draw and lose the Bundesliga that way as well? Like, how do you think this will go? Do you think it will go more so because we did our task, or do you think it will be more so because Dortmund didn't do their tasks?
I think it's
Or
gonna
maybe
come
both?
down to, yeah. I think it's really gonna come down to the match day where we play Leipzig. I don't know who they're playing that day, but I think it's gonna come down to that day just because I don't see us beating Leipzig. And out of our last few matches left, it's Bremen, Schalke, Cologne. I think Schalke we have to win, right? I think at home we probably have to win that one. The Cologne one away is probably gonna be a bit tricky, but I think it's gonna come down ultimately to if we can beat Leipzig. If we can beat Leipzig, I'd say there's a chance. But no, I say if we beat Leipzig, we'll probably win. But I think that if I had to place bets, I'd probably bet on Dortmund right now, just because I don't see us
Ooh.
beating Leipzig. And on top of that, I see the Bellingham transfer saga going two ways. Either where it motivates Bellingham to get the Bundesliga before he leaves, or it could either deflate the team knowing that at the end of the season he is gone. He won't be there for them next season. So I think that kind of either goes one of two ways for them. We'll have to see how that pans out. But I think Bellingham's gonna be extra motivated to win Dortmund the league title after however many years, after a decade of Bayern dominance before moving on to Real Madrid. So yeah, I do see it in Dortmund's favor. I'd probably put it at 60-40 towards Dortmund.
So while you were speaking, I had to look up Dortmund's schedule. Now they face Wolfsburg on Sunday. Then they face Gladbach next week, Augsburg, and then Mainz. Mainz out of all of these is a tricky one because Dortmund are the opposite of us when it comes to our matchup versus Gladbach, where we typically always lose against Gladbach. Dortmund typically always wins against Gladbach. So I've written that off as like a W for Dortmund, but I don't see them beating Mainz on the last match day. Now, for us, however, I've not actually looked up at our remaining schedule. Let's do so right now. We've obviously got the game against Bremen. And then we've got Schalke, which is an easy one. Leipzig, the one that you said it could be tricky, and then Köln. Now, I think the only one here that's really tricky, I mean, all of them realistically are tricky with our current form and our current style and whatnot. But the one that like really screams obviously danger, you could say, is Leipzig, although our record versus them has been superb. And we all know that like typically in the big games we do turn up. Like you look at the Dortmund game, we do turn up. So in a way, I am less worried about the Leipzig game because I trust the team to be there. as opposed to, let's say, the Bremen or Schalke game. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, the way I view it though is like Dortmund's got Wolfsburg at home, Gladbach at home. Their fans going to be up for it big time, backing the team. And then when they play Augsburg, it's a day after we play Leipzig. So if we lose to Leipzig or draw, they're going to be extra motivated to know we can end the Bundesliga title today. Then the next game's at home to Mainz. We can just win it in front of our fans at Mainz. In Mainz.
well. You know what's going to happen? Sorry, I've seen the script, and you know how I am when I see the script. I need to mention it. The script is very simple. We're going to lose to Leipzig. Dortmund will be, 2 points ahead? And then on the final match day, they lose to Mainz.
They won't lose in front of their fans.
They will. With all the pressure that they need to get a win or a draw, they'll lose. Well, just a win, actually. That pressure is going to crush them.
Where's Mainz at the table, too? If they're in the... Oh, they're 8th, but... No, there's just no way. If they know the title's wrapped up at home, and no, it's done. It's done. Trust me. If we lose to Leipzig, it's done. They'll win in front of the fans at home.
It won't be. The game is going to be played in Bremen. Just to answer this question, do you guys play So Rare? I used to. I still sort of do, but not as much as I used to, like a year ago. Well, you know what's very interesting about this Bremen game? They are missing their striker, their quote-unquote star striker in Füllkrug. Now, is that an actual detriment? Because I feel like the way Bremen is going to get like something out of this game is through counters, and I don't know how efficient Füllkrug would be in a counter situation. Because I feel like Bayern, we've seen in the Tuchel that we have more of the ball, we have more control, we have more possession. So if we have that, I don't think Füllkrug will be, would have been as dangerous as he would have been, if Bremen had more of the possession. But I also do think that we're gonna. I don't know if it's the first half or the second half, but I expect us to have one very good half, and then the other half it's 50-50. Well, like Bremen is going to have a lot of possession against us at the moment, so I don't know how it's going to go, but like the way I see it, I personally think it's going to be a 1-0 victory, nothing more, nothing less.
Yeah, I think it depends on Kimmich a lot because last game he got 2 assists, I believe. So it's gonna really depend. If they play in a low block, the only one who I think can beat it is Kimmich or Musiala. If he can dribble past a few guys, or Kimmich with a nice ball through to someone. Other than that, I can't see any of the other forwards doing it.
Also, I just want to address this comment again because obviously I've seen this 1,000 times that we don't deserve a trophy, so on and so forth. Do you really think that Dortmund deserves a trophy then? Honestly, like if we don't deserve a trophy, Dortmund doesn't deserve anything. Like there is no team in the Bundesliga that, besides, you could make the argument, Leverkusen in the second half of the season since Alonso joined, that really deserves anything. No club deserves anything in this league at the moment. We're just the most worthy and we're just the best. It's really that simple. It's not about deserving something or wanting to get rid of some people. It's about what we earned. And even if we earned it in a shoddy way, we still earned it. We still earned it. So as I always say, I want us to win the Bundesliga no matter what. I don't care about like, it will be best for the club, or we can get rid of the board that way, or we can do X and Y. Quite frankly, I feel like that's just masking over a problem. You're almost resigning yourself to losing. So you try and spin it in a positive way. I don't care about that. I just care about winning. Like there's no negative, there's no positive for me. It's just all about winning. It's really that simple. With that said, Werder Bremen, they are struggling. They are currently 12th in the league. Now the thing is, they're 12th in the league, but there's still plenty of games left where they could be relegated. So I think, more than anything, they need a draw. They're playing for a draw. So I could see them do the same thing that, Hertha Berlin did last weekend, which is just shut shop and not let us try and pass it, just put up the wall. And if Hertha Berlin was any indications, we're not that great yet at breaking that down.
Yeah, and Werder Bremen on top of that too is more defensively sound than Hertha Berlin as well, so it's going to be even tougher to break them down.
Hey yo, can I ask you guys a question?
Yep.
So, do you guys really agree with the
It's better that
Mane?
angle, bro. What the heck?
Sorry, bro, I'm dressing up. Do you guys really believe Mane what's call it? They said Mane has agreed to part ways with Bayern Munich. Do you guys really agree with it? It was breaking news this week. I don't believe it because if the person's played like the past two games, then why would he be leaving? You know. But what do you guys think?
I'll let you go first, Daniel.
I think he's done. I think it's gone. I think the dressing room's kind of like lost touch with him. I think that the board's also kind of resigned themselves to the signing being a flop. He's on a lot of wages. His value's going to keep going down. If you're going to sell him, you just have to cut your losses this summer.
Yeah, very much sort of agree. I would like him to stay, as stupid as that sounds, because he's on such big wages and it hasn't worked out. But I would like him to stay because he'll have a chip on his shoulder and essentially he'll be like, I need to actually prove myself. Unlike the other players that, don't have that, it feels like they're just very lethargic and they don't have anything to prove because I earn X amount of money. I'd much rather a player that's pissed off and actually wanting to prove something. But I don't know. With the way, if he wasn't less wages, I would say keep him for another season. But he's not on, he's on astronomical wages, and you kind of need a performer for those kind of wages. So we'll see how it goes, because the question obviously is also which team is going to get him. One, who's going to pay the salary, and two, who's going to pay his wages besides us, the fools. So we'll see how it all pans out, of course. But my head says sell him. Get rid of him and use that money and reinforce the attack with an actual striker. Whether that's Colomani, I know some people were saying that they're not a big fan of Colomani, too similar to Gnabry and Mane lacks presence in the box. I get that, but any striker at this point, here's the thing, right? And this is my issue. The club is gonna go for one of those big names that we've seen rumored this whole time. They're not gonna go for a low profile striker, that might fit us better, that might work better for Bayern. They're gonna go for one of those big name signings because, quite frankly, the board is under as much pressure as ever. So they want to make a statement signing, the same way that they did with Mane and De Ligt, where those are the statement signings. So everyone shut up and everyone's like, you know what, the board is doing a good job. I think the board is going to try and want to do the same thing again, where they sign a player that is very expensive, but is also a household name, so that people will be off their backs. That's what I think is going to happen.
But let me tell you something. There's still time for us to keep Mane. The reason why I'm saying that is because the previous two, okay, against Mainz he wasn't good, but okay, fine. But he's starting to pick up form. You understand? And the thing about Sane is he's such a bozo gene player, just like Upamecano. I don't agree. I know there's a German bias between Sane and Mane because maybe Mane is not German. You understand? But I feel that Mane should stay just because if the guy has played the previous two games, Thomas Tuchel in training, you see Thomas Tuchel always patting him in the back and kind of having a laugh with him. What makes you think that do you think Thomas Tuchel really wants Mane to get sold? I don't think so. I think I really, really do think. Yeah, I have my pants on that. I really, really do think that, bro. They need to They need to keep Mane. Kolomwani is another thing. Can I please talk about the transfer, Prince? You don't mind?
Yeah.
You don't
For it.
mind? Okay.
I was gonna segue into transfers anyway, so go for it.
Okay. So for me personally, I like what you said. We need a low-profile striker. So I know Nicholas Fulkrug is not that type of guy, but maybe if we're not going to go for Nicholas Fulkrug, I think it's better for us to go for Harry Kane than Kolomwani. This is my personal opinion. I think if we're going to spend 100 on Kolomwani, then go for Harry Kane. Do you understand? Because he's more reliable. He's going to be the next, like, at the moment, he's one of the best strikers in the world right now. And I think the place that Spurs is in right now is really, really bad. You understand? So that's what I'll say. And then we need to sell Sane and Janabri because both of them need to leave. I don't care. Sane, you could get like 70 million out of Sane. Like both of them just have to leave. And then maybe you sell we need one more center back. Yeah, we need one more center back. And then we need a box to box midfielder. Now I heard Edson Alvarez was rumored. I don't think he's the right player. Yeah. Prince, I don't know about you, but I don't think Edson Alvarez is right.
Well, here's the thing.
Mhm.
In regards to strikers, one, I definitely don't want Gonzalo Ramos. And I don't think that Kane is happening. We're already out of the race for Osimhen,
Mhm.
according to all the reports, because he was too expensive. And Kane, the rumors were that he doesn't want to leave because he wants to break the Premier League goal scoring. So the question really, like the options really are, honestly, what are the options? The options really are Kolomwani,
There's,
Fulku,
yeah.
and that's it.
Mhm.
They haven't even been linked to
They
Gonzalo
even
Ramos.
said
Why?
Dusan
Ariana?
Vlahovic is
He's
in.
really bad. He's really bad.
Dusan Vlahovic.
He's really bad.
No. I know he's really bad at Juve, but I think I'd pick him over Mwani, bro. To be really honest with you, like at least he could hold up, bro. Like that's the thing, you know.
I think if you're going to sign a striker, my first choice is I think you need a lower profile just because I think that there's a lot of players who need to be shifted out and players replaced, and that's going to cost a lot of money. So I would go for Rasmus Højlund from Atalanta. He's got a lot of
Yeah. Him too, bro. I really would want that guy from Atlanta. I don't trust this black bozo Gene Mwani.
Mhm. I think Colomwani is very talented. He's not a
Mhm.
Lewandowski type though, or Benzema type to stay in the box and get multiple shots off in the game. He can create as well. He can go out wide and dribble. I don't think that's the profile we necessarily need. I'd rather go for like the guy who just says, "Give me the ball, and I'm going to shoot right away." Someone like
Yeah,
that. And
yeah,
then if they
yeah,
build up, it's a bonus. If they can build up, it's a complete bonus. And I think Hoyland is the best bet for that. Young,
yeah,
talented. He's not going to be the most expensive. It's a gamble, but I think the rest are gambles too with the price tags.
yeah.
So I could say
I'm
something.
really I'm really thinking like, does Tuchel have a say on the transfers, or is it Brazo who's the one who can? Because if it's gonna be Brazo, like we all know, then Tuchel's gonna get sacked.
It
Like,
is Brazo, I think. It's Brazo and Honus because they're the ones who want Colomwani.
yeah, I don't think Tuchel wants one. This is my personal opinion. I really don't think Tuchel, because if you wanted Tuchel, even today's press conference, he was like, I can't say this, I can't say, like you could see that he doesn't want one, but like they're trying to force it on him, you know.
Yeah, because usually when they do bring a player up in a press conference, his coach will say he's a very talented player. I really like him. Blah blah
Talented
blah.
player,
But
yeah,
they'll say
yeah,
I can't talk about it. But he never even said that.
yeah.
Interesting.
He didn't
He
say
might.
that, but he just said I can't say anything about
Yeah.
that like rumor, you know.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
it is making me think some way that, bro, do we do we really need Jonathan David? That's a good one. That's a really
It's
good
not.
one.
He's
It's
overrated.
not.
He's really overrated.
Yeah, massively, massively
No,
overrated. If it wasn't
I
connected,
know I know he's overrated, but like you talked about a player who could just shoot. We just need a player who could shoot. You understand? I think he'd be amazing at that.
Yeah, but he's also got the bozo gene. I don't think you want to deal with it.
So here's what I think. I'm gonna name 3 names that we haven't been linked with. 4 names. You know what? I'm gonna link 4 names that we haven't been linked with,
Mhm.
and I want to hear people's thoughts on each one. So I'll start off with the one that would surprise me the most. I'll be completely honest. Cristiano Ronaldo.
I would have taken him last summer, not this summer. I think it's too much of a risk with the age. He's coming
Well,
from
that's
Saudi Arabia.
exactly what I think. That's why I think it's the most unlikely
Yeah.
because he was rumored all season last
Mhm.
summer, but I also think that makes it very likely. As funny as that sounds, because I feel like the rumors are that he wants to leave the league already, and that he's trying to go back to Europe. But in the rumors last season were that he only wants to go to a European top team competing
Mhm.
in a champion. Do you think the board now will sort of admit their mistake in getting Sane instead of him and just be like, you know what, Ronaldo, please come join us as a striker?
Well, I think an issue too is Bowley wanted Ronaldo at Chelsea. Tuchel absolutely didn't want him. So I think
That's
that
true.
that veto power is going to be there from Tuchel's end, and I think that the board's made so many mistakes. I don't see them holding their hands up anytime soon and saying, you know what, we apologize. We really fucked up. We're gonna do what we should have done last summer. I don't think they'll do it.
Okay. Cord, you have anything against that?
You see, from me, right? Cristiano would be a good player, but the way this board moves is German bias. Is if the player is not German or he hasn't played in the Bundesliga, they're not gonna sign him. You understand? He would be a really good signing because the only problem is he doesn't press. He's someone who just likes to take shots and he likes to like how you're talking about and likes to. He's very good with his headers. So we would need someone like that, but I don't think you. I don't see it happening, man. It's not gonna happen.
Okay. Well, next name that I've got for you. And I also think is very unlikely. I mean, all of them are very unlikely. Let me just make this clear. But this one I think is also very unlikely, but I think could be a better fit for Bayern. And that is Antoine Griezmann.
I'm a big fan of him, but I don't see Atletico letting him go. I just can't see it, and I think Griezmann's better in a two-man striker partnership, not by himself in a one. Because I think he can play with Depay really well at Atletico Madrid. Both gained a lot of good form under that, and he plays in a counter-attacking team for the most part with Atletico Madrid. Kind of the same thing with France. I don't think he would suit the Bayern play as much, even though I'm a big fan of him.
Do you want to know why I brought him up?
Mhm.
We're basically FC German French. The French Germans.
Yeah,
That's what we are.
that's true. That's true.
So immediately, like he could slot in, and immediately he would, already be able to communicate with his French teammates. So the French connection? Question mark?
Then I'd go for Giroud. I go for Giroud over Griezmann.
That
Yeah.
guy can't stay fit, though. To be fair.
You would
Okay.
say?
I said that guy can't stay fit, healthy. So my third name. How do I spin this? Remember, there was a time when this little fellow played as a false nine, and just recently,
Messi.
last year, in fact, he won the World Cup as the player of the tournament, and cementing himself as the greatest player of all time.
Mhm.
And he wants to return to his former club, but they can't afford him. And his current club had basically forced him to send out an apology today, and he's leaving them
Mhm.
as well. And this little fella wants to remain in Europe before moving to presumably the MLS for a few seasons. So, how do you feel about a false nine, little genius Messi?
I would have taken Messi, but he's not a presser. We need players who can press. because I know Muller also presses, but the one thing is Messi is not gonna press. Messi is someone who he he waits for the ball. He needs that service. He needs that like someone who can help him to get that service. He will get us goals. Don't get me wrong, but his defensive contributions why I just don't like.
Well,
I don't think
but
it's
that's the
happening.
thing. But that's
And
the
he's
thing,
not
though.
German. And he's not German. That's another thing.
But here's the thing, though, right? You put
Mhm.
Messi on that Goretzka program, and suddenly
Mhm.
the little Messi will turn into, Hulk. He's
I
gonna
think
start
that
pressing.
Oh, I see.
if
I
you
see
want
what
Messi
you're
to
saying.
succeed, you're gonna have to have like 10 warriors on the pitch with him ready to like defend for him. Like
Mhm.
Gnabry, Sane, Goretzka, guys are not going to do that. No chance in hell. And I think that like once Barca sells Ansu Fati, Ferran Torres, and these guys, they'll have the money to sign up Messi.
Well, I think
Okay.
Messi is going to Barca.
Yeah, he'll go to Barca. They have to
Yeah.
sell a few, but
Yeah. They essentially have to sell half the club at the moment to afford him.
well, I think he'll take a huge pay cut. So I think once like 2 or 3 players move out, they're good to go.
Well,
When does the
here
transfer window start?
July 1st,
July 1st. Okay,
I think.
I'll be
it's
interested.
either July 1st or June 1st, but I'm going with July 1st.
I'll be
So here's the fourth name. Here's my fourth name. What, I'll go with my best name for last. So here's my fourth name. Don't know how familiar you lot are with Malcolm from Zenit.
Oh God,
Oh yeah.
no.
26 years old Brazilian who, if the rumors are true, wants to leave Zenit.
We were linked with him before he went to Barca. I remember that.
Yeah.
He's Douglas Costa 2.0. No way. No way.
That's true.
Well, what kind of Douglas Costa? Are we talking about first half the season Douglas Costa that was the best player of all time, or are we talking about the Douglas Costa that came after that?
It's a flip with him because he went to a big club and he failed at Barca. So do we really want to take that risk?
Take that risk. Yeah.
Okay, fifth name. And this one is the funniest one. Hear me out. Hear me out, all right? Hear me out. Let me talk, all right? So, as we just said, Barcelona needs to sell a few players to register it's Messi, all
I
right?
know where this is going.
What if they get rid of a certain Polish striker?
Oh no. No. Don't even start with me. We're done with him, bro. We're done with him, man.
Look, all right, they could get rid of a certain Polish striker.
That
And
that
Bayern
that
could play,
Polish
you know what?
that Polish striker in last week, was it this week? He said there's too many black players in our team. So yeah.
You never believe everything you read on the internet, all right? You can't be falling for that. But look, Nagelsmann is gone. Tuchel is here now. He had a problem with Nagelsmann. Well, he is gone. He isn't really firing all hot at Barcelona, and they're looking to get rid of players to get Messi.
Mhm.
You see how it's all suddenly lining up? He'll
Oh,
come
so
out with
you're
a
trying to
statement this
say
week.
you're
He'll
trying to
come
say
up with a
Lewandowski
statement this
from
week
that.
that will say something like, I don't feel the emotions at Barcelona. I need to leave the club and go somewhere else. And then he will turn to Bayern.
1816 München can call him up because I'd rather stay with Moting and Mane. That chapter's done. He was didn't
It's
show up in
done.
big games. It's done.
Yeah, it's done.
All
Like
right,
at this
I'll bring
point,
up.
we have to move forwards. We can't move backwards and go to players we already had. We have to move forward, think long term.
Okay, I'll bring up a sixth name then, for the sake of it. All right, we all know we were linked with Erling Haaland last season, And if all the rumors and even his entourage, which came out, said that, we were actually very close and it was 50-50 between us and City. So clearly we were ready to spend 150, I'd say probably close to like 200 million on Erling Haaland. I think that's how much he really cost if we'd taken all the fees into account. So clearly we're willing to spend a lot of money. There is, and we're known as the German-French club. There is a certain French player that he doesn't play as a primary striker, but he plays as a striker for a certain club called Paris Saint-Germain, PSG, and he's the poster child of theirs. His name begins with Kylian, and I think his surname is Mbappe. So maybe, Bayern will be ready to spend 150 to 200 million on a certain fraud named Kylian MPC.
Put some respect on his name. Put some respect.
I don't respect pace merchants that can't play football.
He's better than Haaland.
We're not doing this again. Haaland is breaking records left, right, and center. Haaland is 5 times the player.
So was Mbappe.
Oh,
no. We're not comparing.
Mbappe was a teenager when he won the World Cup. And then his next World Cup goes to the final, scores a hat trick in the final, 3 penalties in the same way.
And Haaland's got the Champions League this season.
No, Real Madrid's winning it. So
I trusted my boy Haaland, the best striker, the best player in the world.
The best striker in the world is Benzema.
We're not doing this. With that said, Mbappe question mark.
I would love
on a real one. On a real one though, yeah. Got to know. We'll be back.
Mhm.
All right, Cole. Here's what I'll say. Neymar, according to rumors, wants to leave. He just got like the PSG fans just raided basically his home. They went up to his house to like chant they want him out. And according to rumors now, he wants to leave. Would he, as a striker, work?
No way. No way. He can't even play as much of a winger anymore. Like, I think the Brazil coach even said he's better in the attacking midfield role. I think I love Neymar as a player. I think if you do want to get him, you'd have to just sell one of Coman, Sané, and Gnabry, which I'm all for. I would get rid of all 3, but yeah, I don't see it happening, especially because his wages are insane. I don't think he'd be the type to want to live in Munich. I see him going back to like Barca, maybe the Premier League, or maybe even a shock move to Madrid. I wouldn't put that off the table.
I don't know who else. I'm literally just like picking names from a hat. If you want an honest opinion, right? Mukoko.
No way. My first choice is Højlund. My second choice is Evan Ferguson from Brighton. Those are my top 2 choices.
Why?
Højlund, I think, has a lot of potential, Haaland-esque. So I think if Bayern did want Haaland, you've got a kind of a second coming of him in Højlund. He's got pace, power. He's got a great shooting technique, both-footed. I think he's a better dribbler than Haaland. He's got decent hold-up play. He's nowhere near as good as Haaland right now, but I think he's someone you can develop and make into a world-class striker. So I'd look at him. Evan Ferguson, he's young, teenager, doing it in the Premier League. He's pretty skillful, pretty nifty, pretty all-around striker. So I think he's not as good as Højlund, I don't think. But I think for me, they'd both be around 50, 60 million. Someone you can develop and then put money towards other players. So those are my first 2 choices. Those are the only 2 I'd go for.
Why are there no strikers in world football? Like, what's going on? What's going on?
Why are there there's a lot. I think there is a lot. It just it's not like the strikers like Bayern fans want. They want a Haaland. They want a Harry Kane or something in that realm. But you're not going to get that right now. But I do think there's strikers who can become like that if you want to develop them and put time into them. So it just depends on how you look at it.
Okay, I'm going to bring up another name. Don't shoot me for the... Okay, I'll bring up 2 names, actually. Scratch it. And don't shoot me for this, all right?
Mhm.
2013. I'm painting you a picture, right?
Mhm.
2013. We had 3 competent strikers when we won the Champions League. All right.
Mhm.
We had Mandzukic, we had Gomez,
Mhm.
and we had Pizarro. It is 2023 now, so 10 years later. Do you know what we need? We
3
need
strikers.
we need 2 competent strikers at least. And you know who those 2 competent strikers will be? You know what? No, we need 3 strikers. Scratch that. And you know who those 3 competent strikers will be?
Who?
Mandzukic, Pizarro, and Gomez.
Well,
Bring
I
all
think
3 back from retirement.
I think we already have one competent striker in Mathis Tell. If you bring one more in, you've got 2. So I think it would
Are
be
you
set on those.
disrespecting Chupa Boateng?
Mhm. He's too injury prone, let's be honest. Like, and he had a purple patch, so I don't see him succeeding next season.
The guy that's got no hamstrings. You want to bring him to Bayern? Ibra. I'd bring him to Bayern just for the vibes, but come on now. If we bring him to Bayern, we're never going to win the Champions League.
We
That
got a
guy's
son in
never.
Munich.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of names. All right, I'm trying. Ena Valencia.
What? No shot.
You saw what he did at the World Cup.
Yeah,
He's
look at
he's balling in Turkey.
international tournaments are the worst ways to judge players, though. To be fair, like it's way different.
Let me cook. All right. I don't know.
You don't
How
seem like a
about
fan of Hoyland or like these guys, huh?
what?
You don't seem like a fan of Hoyland and Ferguson and these guys, huh?
Not really.
They don't excite you as like a name, or is it like you don't think they're that good?
No, it's not even that. I just don't think they're likely.
Okay, yeah,
Like I think Bayern always goes again. As I said, I think Bayern is gonna go for like a big profile striker, like
yeah.
a name that people are actually familiar with, and not just people that watch football regularly, but just people in general. Because the board is under pressure, so they're gonna want a signing that will sort of like just mask over it in a way,
Mhm,
similar to like how Mane and De Ligt were last season. And I
mhm.
think that's exactly what we're going to go for this season. So it needs to be a name that's like recognizable, even if they're like past their prime, but just it needs to be recognizable enough. Someone like a Higuain.
He's retired.
Is he?
Yeah.
I thought he was playing in the Argentinian league.
No, I think he was in the MLS and he stopped, right?
I know he was in the MLS, but I thought he then went to the Argentinian league.
I thought he retired in the MLS.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Scratch that then. Alexis Sanchez, since we're talking about the MLS.
He was like, I swear to God, I could be wrong, but I think he was on a plane to sign for Munich at one point. I could be wrong, right? But that was the thing, right?
You mean this season or what?
Like years ago, he was on a plane to go
Oh
to
yeah.
Munich.
Years ago, yeah.
Yeah.
We were linked to him every single week.
Yeah, because I think he'd have been so good for us back then, but now I think it's a bit different. Fuck, a few years ago, he would have cooked so hard for us, but it is what it is. I don't think they'll go for him.
I know a player that we have been linked with for like 50 years, Angel Di Maria. Play him as a striker.
He's so injury prone, and he can't even play there.
Actually, how has nobody mentioned him? Actually, but I know why, because of Tuchel.
Mhm.
Because of Tuchel. Otherwise, Lukaku.
I think people shit on him a lot. I think he's actually a good player.
Oh,
There's
he
like
is good.
parts, yeah, there's parts to his game he can work on, but I think he's a good player. I think he gets disrespected for no reason, but he'd be so expensive too. I think
He
because
wouldn't. No, he
really,
wouldn't. That's
I
the thing.
think he
Yeah, because
would.
he's on loan. He's on loan currently at Inter, and he'll go back to Chelsea in the summer. And Chelsea will want to sell him because they're already bringing in Nkunku. They're he didn't really mesh with Chelsea, so on and so forth.
Mhm.
They're also getting Felix, João Felix. They got Sterling, so they'll have to sell a few players. And I think Lukaku will be like the perfect thing. But the issue is he didn't mesh at Chelsea, and he isn't gonna mesh well at Bayern because of Tuchel.
Yeah, I
Otherwise,
think.
otherwise, like I could actually see him go to Bayern.
Yeah, because I remember we would be linked with him when he was at Everton. So I've always liked him as a player. Just hasn't really worked out for his career. He's had like a lot of like topsy turvy times. He was good for United for like a spell, and then it went downhill. Never gelled to
He's
Chelsea.
basically the issue is right. He's basically a striker bozo, a bozo striker.
Mhm.
Well, like he'll look great a lot of the times, and then he'll have like the bozo moment, like he did in the World Cup, where like he had like 6 tap-ins that he missed every single one of them, and he just like, bro, how?
Yeah.
But Cole, what do you think about Lukaku to Bayern? Lukaku. Nothing. Okay. Let's
There's
see.
one name you didn't mention. I thought that was interesting.
Hulk.
Lautaro Martinez.
Oh, I thought you meant Hulk.
Oh,
I don't know. Is Lautaro Martinez that big of a name?
I feel like we're linked with him every summer. I don't rate him, but I think KHR was a big fan of him for a few years. I think because we've been linked with him a lot.
He isn't French or German though.
Yeah.
So like he needs to be French or German or be a big name.
Mhm.
Like that's really all. Like that's really all it can be. And I don't think he's a big enough name.
How about Paulo Dybala?
Nah.
Really? I think he's a wonderful player, but I don't think he's a strike. Like I don't think he would.
Yeah, that's why. Like you might as well at that point. You might as well just buy Wirtz.
Yeah, because if you're gonna do the false nine thing, I would go Dybala at that point because he's cheap too. He has like a 12 or 20 mil release clause. I think he's a really good, talented player. I'd like to see him at Bayern. I just don't know where he'd fit.
I don't know, Fleming. Nah, that's too much of a step. Then again, we did just buy the Australian guy, who's getting loaned back. And have you seen the clips of him? Like his actual shooting technique and like the power that he puts behind the shots and accuracy is wild.
Yeah, Iran Kunda, like his shots are unbelievably good.
Yeah.
Like the angles are crazy too. It's not even just the power, like the angles he shoots from and like gets him on target. So I'm looking forward to him.
Now watch when he comes.
I
When he
would bring
comes
him
to
in.
Bayern, he's suddenly gonna forget how to shoot. Trust me.
I really hope. I know he's going to be alone for a year, but I think he's already better than Coman, Gnabry, and Sané. So
All right, you're reaching now.
I really think he is because these guys are really
You've seen
overrated.
like a 4-minute highlight video. That's all you know about him.
I can just tell. I can just tell he's better than them. By intuition and those like shots, I can tell he's. I trust him more.
That's wild. Who else? Who else? Who else? Who else? I don't know. I don't think there are that many world-class strikers. I know you said there are, and that they're just not Bayern-like, but I don't think there are that many world-class strikers.
I think there's a lot of strikers on the market, just they're not world class yet. You have to develop them. Like I think two that will be world class are Hoyland and Ferguson, but you have to give them the time. And I don't think Bayern will do that, especially for Ferguson, because he's really young. I think Hoyland's had more minutes, more match practice with Atalanta, so I think he'd be the more likely of the two if we were to go for someone in that profile. But I do think there are strikers who are young, like who can develop, like Isak kind of like came out of, I don't want to say nowhere. He was at Dortmund, but then like you see what Newcastle did with him, took a risk on him, and he looks like he's going to be world class.
I know somebody meant no.
I think he could. I think he could.
I think your definition of world class and mine are vastly different.
No, I think he can be a top 5 striker in the world.
No.
Yeah, I think I could see it.
No. I know somebody mentioned Ivan Toney. Again, I don't think the name is big enough. like we're talking about realistic transfers that I think the board will do. Like if it was up to me, right? The board asked me who do I want, I would say F it, and I'll just get Messi, just because I want the best player of all time in my club. Even if it's just for 6 months, I want him at the club, just so I can say, I witnessed Messi in Bayern colors. But like, the club is going to do one of two things. They're either going to get a big name striker, or they're going to like do a risky gamble. I feel like we did the risky gamble last season, so I think the most likely is that we're going to do a big name striker. Like, here's one that I don't think is going to happen, but I think the name might just be big enough. Maybe Lacazette.
No.
That's an immediate no.
I don't know. I don't think because you saw it with Arsenal. He went there and then he kind of didn't light the world on fire, and then they had to bring in Aubameyang to get more goals than him because he wasn't scoring a lot at Arsenal in the Premier League.
Well, how about Aubameyang?
Well, he was really good with Tuchel. He was really good with him, but
Exactly.
I think he's lost a yard of pace. I don't see like
Will he
he's
need
not the
that
same
though?
player.
At Bayern? He doesn't need that at Bayern. We control possession.
Yeah, but he was a player who like relied on the plays to get in behind, to dribble, like get past someone. I don't think he's anywhere near. I don't think he's as good as he was before. So, and he wouldn't. There's. I don't believe he'd like do good against the low blocks. What could be interesting though is Benzema's contract.
No, we're not getting Benzema. You can forget that.
His contract is up in June. If we
He's
get
French.
him, he's
He's
French.
He's a big name. But nah, you know my issue, Robert Becker. The issue is I see Kai Havertz moving to Bayern, and that's to me is an issue, a big issue actually. I don't think he's a striker. I think everyone that keeps playing as a false nine is an idiot. Quite frankly, I think he'd be a liability for Bayern. I don't think he's a bad player. I think he just plays. I think everyone just plays him wrong, and I think that's going to happen at Bayern, and that's why he's going to be awful at Bayern.
Mm-hmm.
He is a number 10. But then again, if you ask me who do I want, Kai Havertz or Wirtz, my answer is Wirtz. So, save that money that you'd spend on Kai Havertz and get Wirtz. But the issue is, I think that he's very likely. That's my issue. I think that he is very likely to come to Bayern, and I don't want that. That is my issue.
I don't even
some
view. Sorry, keep going.
Sorry, go on. No, because I was going to switch topics. Go on.
Oh, I don't even view Kai Havertz as like a 10. He's not even like the best creator. I think he's more of like a right forward, pair up with a striker type of player.
Yeah. I know some people in the chat are mentioning Weghorst. That's also a no for me. I get it. But that's... Ooh, someone said the last big name striker Bayern side was Roy Mackay. Absolutely not. Robert Lewandowski. What are we talking about? Lewandowski was a big striker. Like, just because the guy wasn't great, just because the guy wasn't... Okay, how do I phrase it? Just because the guy wasn't exactly what we thought he was, or thought he would be, doesn't mean that, he wasn't a big name, a big striker. Like, he was touted as being like the second or third best striker when we bought him. It was always a toss-up back then between Suarez, him, and Lewandowski and Benzema. So like he was, a big name. I don't know. Like I'm thinking, right? I'm trying to think, but I can't think of anything. Why is there no striker that I'm like perfect? Like why there's no striker that I'm just like perfect fit. This is who I want. Like this and no one else. There is no one in world football like that. So you know what I think is gonna happen? Honestly, do you know what I think is gonna happen? We're not gonna get one. All the big name strikers that we're linked with, we're not gonna get. Oh, you know what? I've got a name for you. Rashford.
He's not a striker, I would say. He's like a left forward. I think he's a fantastic player. I think that he's a big part of Ten Hag's plans. I think if Kane does go to United, those two will win the league together. I think because he's like a
Will they play
Manchester born
together?
and bred.
That's the question.
I think
Because
they
if
would.
Kane goes to United, they're gonna sell someone.
No.
What? Am I just making up stories now?
No, because no. They won't have to sell anyone, especially if they get the takeover in. Like Kane will be the first face to come of the new era. And I think if you get his
Financial fair
15
play.
goals,
Financial fair play. Always
it hasn't
remember
stopped
that.
City or PSG, has it? So
It will one day.
we hope.
It will.
But until then, yeah. Yeah, but I think that Kane wants I think Kane and Rashford together will win United the league after like however many years. So I don't see any reason for Rashford to leave, especially since he's Manchester born and bred. So I don't see it. And he's not really a typical striker. He's like a plays with a striker type of guy.
What do you think of chat shit get banged?
Jamie Vardy.
Yep.
He's had a rough season for Leicester. He's only started kicking in form recently since like the relegation bout has popped up. And he's another guy who relied on his pace heavily. He won't be good in the deep blocks, so it's a no from me. We could be in big trouble this summer. I'm telling
Do you
you.
like pie?
Huh?
Do you like pie? Cake?
Pie. No.
You don't like cake?
No. It's too sweet.
What about the pie?
Oh, the pie? Huh. Well, he's not like a typical striker either. He's like he needs someone else to play with him to like bring out the best in him. So it's a no for me again. I think we can be in big trouble this summer. I think if you mess up the striker signing and if you go for the glitz and glamour transfer they want, you can, and if it goes bad, it can go really, really bad really quick. So it's gonna be a tough summer for the board to get the right decision.
Okay. Well, if you don't like pie and cake, how about Pepsi? Do you like Pepsi?
No.
You don't like Pepsi?
No, I don't drink soda.
So you don't like Ricardo Pepi?
He's had as a US fan, I'll tell you this, right? He's had a good season on loan, but, and this is a big but, that guy's potential is very limited. Like, his link and play is pretty poor. He's a good finisher. He's good in tighter angles too, but he doesn't have the all around game to succeed at Bayern.
Well, that's a shame. You know what? Sometimes what you need in your life, sometimes you just need a little bit of vibes. You know, you know who can get you the best vibes? It's my man. It's always the guy that is well. So for me, the person that I would like to see is someone that is a well, and is a beacon of information. So
Yeah,
Welbeck.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just meant that.
Yeah. I think he's at Brighton, right?
Yep.
Yeah. He's injury prone. I think he's lost his place too to Evan Ferguson too, funny enough. So yeah. I think at this point we might as well just go back to Xerxes, huh? He got us the Bundesliga once, so give him a chance.
You
But
know what? We shouldn't have sold him. I said it. I said it. Limitless potential. Limitless potential. You know what though? A player that's going to come back to Bayern is Tillman.
yeah, I think he's a very good player. I think we won't give him a chance. That's what I think. I think we'll sell him, even though I really like him.
Well, let's be totally honest though as well. Xerxes has not been great.
Yeah, he's had
this
like
season.
one goal or assist this whole season.
Look, hype is a good thing, but sometimes hype leads us nowhere.
Yeah, he's one of the ones who defrauded your scouting legacy.
Look, my scouting legacy is impeccable. All right, it's just the way it is. It's just, you know, he got bit by a bee, and since then he just can't move his legs. So it's not my fault. It's the bees' fault. So I'm sorry, the birds and the bees. The birds and the bees.
So whenever the player you scout goes to shit, it's never your fault, right? It's the player's fault.
Yes, but you know who isn't at fault? Sarpay Singh as a striker.
What?
Okay, that's clearly a no. Okay, let's try something else then. That what told me everything I needed to. Yeah, I needed to know. How about a certain a certain player who likes to take corners, eat corners, who plays typically as a number 10, but could work as a false striker. His name, it's quite a weird one because he's got the same middle name as me. It starts with Thomas. And as I said, he likes to take corners because, well, the Muller corners, they're quite fruitful and they're good yogurts. So do you think that Thomas Muller as a false striker could work?
He's lost all scoring ability. Like at this point, we're playing guess who with strikers who can fit. Nah, I don't think it's not gonna be Muller. Like he's kind of losing his place anyways too, and then he's only got one more year left, so not looking good.
Geraldo Becker. Look, we're just naming names right now, okay?
Yeah.
There's not even a discussion really going on. We're literally just naming names at this point.
At this point,
Like,
yeah, guess who?
Yeah, exactly. If you're here for like a meaningful discussion about the Werder Bremen game, you came to the wrong place, all right? You came to the wrong place. Let's all be honest, all right? Ranos, not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Look, at the end of the day, there is no striker on the market yet, and that's the key word, and that's yet. Because at the end of the day, we don't know if a player will want to leave, As I said, Lukaku will be on the market, which means that another player might leave and that team might sign Lukaku. But then, if they get rid of their striker, then we can have then there will suddenly be strikers available. So we don't know how it's going to go. The rumors also are that Nagelsmann is going to join Tottenham, and who knows if Kane wants to work under Nagelsmann. So who knows whether Nagelsmann will do as a solid. I don't know why he would do as a solid, in all fairness, but maybe Nagelsmann will do as a solid, pisses off Kane in the first week. And then, Kane will demand the transfer to, Nagelsmann would be a Bayern legend if he did that. If he went there with the intention of pissing off Kane, making his life miserable, and then so that Kane then hands in a transfer request and then moves to Bayern. That right there. I would actually call Nagelsmann the best manager that Bayern has ever had if that happens. If that happens, I'm building him a statue. Even though I don't want Kane at Bayern, but I'll take Kane over anyone right now. Except over Choupo-Moting.
Yeah, he'll be at United though, so no point even considering it.
Hope is what dies last. Always and forever.
Yeah,
Hope.
but we gotta have the logic in it. He's English, wants to break the Alan Shearer record.
It's such a pointless thing as well. Like, why do you want to break some stupid goal scoring record that Haaland's going to break in 3 seasons anyway?
I don't even think Haaland will break it.
What?
I don't think Haaland will break it. I think he'll leave before. Like, he's not.
Nah, he'll break it within 3-4 years, and then he'll leave.
No, I think he'll leave before.
That many.
Like, Haaland's staying for 3-4 years max. I don't think that's enough time to break the league, the league record, because Kane's been there for 10 seasons or some shit to break it. So I think Kane's gonna break it when he moves to what I think is gonna be Manchester United, and then I think Haaland probably goes to Real Madrid.
Perhaps. Anyway, though, we'll see how the summer pans out. Of course, we'll see. We're very strongly linked to RKM Randall Colomuani. What are your thoughts just on him in general? Like, would you want him? No, yes, any price, or do you think there should be a limit that we set? Or like, what are your thoughts on the Ronald Colmani rumors? We're going to talk about this specific transfer because I think that rumor is not going to go away, and I actually think we're going to sign him. In all fairness,
Yeah.
But I just want to know what your thoughts are. Just in general, before we eventually do a discussion just on that transfer in the future.
Yeah.
No, sorry guys.
All good. Yeah, I think Colmani is a talented player. I think that he gives you more than a typical striker because he can go out wide, he can dribble, he can give assists. It's not our money, so I don't care how much they spend, and they won't do what I want in the summer. So it is what it is. So, but if he comes, I'll support him. I think he's there.
No. But we don't need to support the player. We need a player who's gonna fit the striker role, someone who's going to bang in the goals. That's what we need. Okay. We need players who's gonna bang in the goals. We don't just need someone who can drift wide. We don't need someone who can, kind of tuck in and so forth. We just need someone who can score goals. That's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying, but like, I don't think that's gonna happen. You know what I mean? I think we're gonna get him, so I have to support him.
But he's gonna be expensive, man.
Yeah, he's
You're paying 100 mil for him? Come on, man.
I think it's 800. Yeah.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
I mean, who would you get then?
For me personally, I want Harry Kane. If you're gonna spend 100 mil, then go for Harry Kane. That's my personal opinion. But yeah, well, it is what it is. I know. I don't think he's a striker, but again, I think they're gonna use him as a striker.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's gonna be a really terrible summer for Bayern. I think they're gonna mess up the striker signing. I do like Mwani, but I don't know if he necessarily fits. And if that goes bad, it's gonna go really bad. And our midfield targets so far look really terrible too. So I think it's gonna be a really bad summer.
Yeah.
We're in
If that's the case, then Tuchel will get sacked.
Yeah, Tuchel will be gone in 6 months if that's the case. Yeah.
Breaking news. Sorry, breaking news. Bayern have just signed Ronaldo El Fenomeno. The Brazilian will join Bayern this summer as a striker.
Who?
Ronaldo
Mhm.
El Fenomeno, the Brazilian striker. He said that after his retirement in 2006, he now wants to come back to football and he wants to revive the Samba legacy at Bayern.
Is this a sarcasm joke or is
No, I'm being serious. All the newspapers are reporting it right now.
You said breaking news. I picked up my phone to check Twitter, and then you said Ronaldo, so I put my phone down.
not the fraud Ronaldo. I'm talking about the real Ronaldo, Brazilian Ronaldo. Not that fraudulent one.
Oh, wait, hold up. Let me check this here.
You know what's funny, right? I can't stand this. I hate talking about this, but I find it. Napoli just won like the Italian Serie A last weekend. You know what's wild? They haven't won it since like Maradona was there. Argentina hasn't won the World Cup since Maradona was there.
Yeah.
And then he dies. Rest in peace to the legend. But then Argentina wins it, wins the World Cup that year, and Napoli wins the Serie A that year. Some things, football,
Yeah, he's doing some lines of coke right now in heaven.
I can't think of a striker. Like, bring Mario Gomez back from retirement. I don't care. Or bring Miroslav Klose back.
Yeah, really. I can't think of a striker either.
Højlund and Ferguson. One of those two.
Michael Jackson. I don't know, man. Just put me as a striker. Give me a few couple of millions a year, and I'll play as a striker. Even 1 million a year, and I'll be happy. All right. Just do something, Bayern. Do something. Right? There's news about Kolomouani, and it's just the typical like Randall Kolomouani is the priority of Bayern and Manchester United. Both clubs will soon make a move and bid for the player. Frankfurt won 100 million euros. PSG are also interested, but are behind in the race. Woohoo! It's just the same recycled old news stories every single day. Yes, we get
Single
it.
day.
We
Yeah.
want Kolomouani and they
Kolomouani.
want over 100 million. Stop telling me that. Tell me something new.
You know what I think the
Yeah.
issue is? I think that if you look at the Bayern transfer policy from 10 years ago, we would finish 80% of our business before the season ended. We would announce the transfer signings and say they're coming in at the end of the season. Now, I really think they're like headless chickens on the board. They don't know what they're doing. I don't know what profile. I don't even think they know what profile they want or need.
Well, their profile is very simple. They just want a big name.
Yeah.
That's the profile.
But the thing is, you know something? I think what we can do is we need to build the wingers. You understand? The wingers, we need to build them. Those wingers, there's a lot of wingers on the market. And maybe what we can do is keep money and go get better wingers. I think that makes a lot more sense than trying to get a striker. Because the striker market is really dead right now. It's really, really dead. You know?
You want to know what's going to
And it's-
happen? You want to know
Mhm,
what's going to happen in the summer? In the
mhm.
summer, Bayern will make two signings for the striker. Two signings for the position up front. Do you want to know who those two signings will be?
Who?
Mohamed Salah and Robert Firmino.
No,
And
no,
then you've got
no.
Salah, Firmino, and Mane.
Why you say Mohamed Salah? Why you say
That's his name.
no, no, no? Salah
Yeah,
ain't
we're gonna
coming. He's
we're
staying
gonna
in
sign
Liverpool.
Salah and Firmino, and then we're gonna have the trio back. The trio in a different color of red.
No. He ain't coming. Salah ain't coming to Bayern. He even has a problem with money already.
Okay, my last one, my last name. How about you start Project Messi? You actually start Project Messi. And I kind of mentioned this like a few months ago, but I'm being serious now. It's time for Project Messi. Musiala's a
What
false nine.
Project Messi for Musiala? Come on, man.
False nine. False
Come
nine
on.
Musiala. Trust me.
Come on, man. Don't do that. Don't do that.
The issue with that is that he doesn't have like Messi when he was a false nine at Barca had Eto'o and Henry. Musiala is gonna have Sané and Gnabry. He's fucked if that happens. Completely fucked.
Look, all right, something's gonna happen. Then put Gnabry as a striker and be done with it. All right, don't get anyone, and just bottle another year. Just waste another year, or actually play Tell for once, and don't give me that stupid excuse that he's young. Just play him, or get Mbappe. Pick one, or get Mbappe, or get Mbappe. And I'm not talking about Kylian. I'm talking about his brother.
Ethan Mbappe, he's a center midfielder.
Play him with a striker. He'll be as good as. Can you tell that it's hopeless? That it's absolutely pointless. That like no matter who we think about, it's gonna be Kolomani. Like
He's
it
gonna
doesn't
be
matter
more.
how much. It doesn't matter how much we discuss this. It doesn't matter like who we're linked with besides Kolomani. The second that Uli Hoeneß said, the second the report came out that Uli Hoeneß is a fan of Kolomani, it was a done deal. Like nobody else mattered at that point.
Yeah.
The second that report came out, I was like, okay, it's over. We already know who the striker will be that we're gonna try and sign all summer. Now, whether we'll get him, we'll see. But he's gonna be the only one we'll try for all summer because Uli Hoeneß wanted him, and nobody defies Uli Hoeneß in the club. It doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah, and Milani wants Bayern too, so it's a easy.
Why don't we go for Neymar? I think Neymar would solve some of our problems, yo. As the wingers,
I'm paying, I'm paying 50 million a year. Come on now.
no. The thing is, Neymar is better than Sane. That's my. I would go for Neymar instead of Sane. And um, Janabi too. Like I said, we could go get Diaby from Leverkusen. He's a replacement. Hey, what about Patrick Schick? What about Patrick Schick? That's a striker.
You know what's funny? Last
That's
season,
a
last
striker.
summer, we were linked to him all summer.
Yeah,
And
all
now
summer. Yeah.
there's no-
No, last summer we were linked to Sasa Kalajdzic from Stuttgart.
Oh fuck!
Remember, bro? Oh man, bro.
I think it's gonna be a short summer. I think it's gonna be a boring summer, and I think it's gonna be a bad summer. So
I don't think it's going to be a short summer. I think it's going to be a very, very long one with the same news stories recycled every single day. Like, I'm willing to bet, if anyone wants to take this bet, I'm willing to bet 50 smackaroonies that we're going to hear the name Kolomouani to Bayern and the news report of Kolomouani to Bayern at least 70 times from now until we sign.
Yeah.
Anyone wants to bet? Anyone wants to bet against that?
no, it's true, but I think we're only gonna sign 2 players, so it's gonna be Mwani and a midfielder. I think Mwani's gonna get done first, then a
We
midfielder
signed
after.
the player today.
Yeah, but like he's not gonna be playing for us. And then I think the only thing that's gonna last a while is the sales. The sales can go to the end, but I think that the players bought in are gonna. It's not gonna happen. It's gonna happen pretty quick, I think.
So, for those that don't know, Bayern today, according to Sky Sports, reached an agreement with Augsburg for the transfer of midfielder Davide Delle Alba. And that was reported today by Sky Sports. I like how nobody ever brings him up or nobody mentions him, despite the fact that he could be one of those secret signings that like suddenly turn out amazing, like a Davis, or well, actually not a Davis, because Davis was else player of the season. That's a completely different level. But he could be like a I was gonna say Kimmich, but Kimmich was also he won the Fritz Walter medal. So he also wasn't really unknown. He could be well, I was gonna say Rudy, but Rudy actually completely flopped at Bayern. So he could be a Tanguinians, but actually no, he also completely flopped at Bayern. He could be a Zirkzee, actually, he also completely flopped at Bayern. He could be a Sapet Singh. Oh well, he also completely flopped at Bayern. My goodness, who didn't flop at Bayern? That was unknown. That was an unknown signing. I don't know. Anyway, though, ladies and gentlemen, the point is, look, for this summer, if you have hopes of getting like Kane, if you have hopes of getting Osimhen, if you have hopes of getting Ronaldo, I don't know why you would have hopes of getting that fraud, but if you have hopes of getting Messi, if you have hopes of like getting any of these other strikers, forget it. Just forget it. All right. This coming from me to you, forget it, and very simply, just expect Kolomouani to happen eventually, or it to not happen very late in the transfer window to the point where we then start to panic. It's one of those two. We're either going to try all summer and flop, or we're going to try all summer and then get him. Don't get your hopes up. Don't get your hopes down. This is our banter era. We are not entering. No. The Alchemist. We're not entering the banter era. We have been in it for a decade now. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, I mean, I think they'll panic and overpay for Muani because United want him as first choice, and PSG want him because of Mbappe. I think we'll panic and spend 100 million easily on him.
No, look, my thing is, I'm not gonna lie. We should go for the wingers first. The wingers and then the midfield. That's where we should strengthen most. If we can't get a striker this summer, fine, it's okay. but get new wingers, new midfielders, and at least one center back. That's what I really want. Um, why don't we go for
Timo Werner.
No.
yeah, that would be amazing. That'd be
I'm
amazing.
joking. You know, everyone knows how much I hate Timo Werner. I'm obviously joking.
You know, I really think we need to do what Arsenal did because they had a banter era and they say, fuck it. We're going to rely on youth and good scouting. And it's going to take a few years, but we'll get back to the top by doing it. We need to do that. Get rid of the mercenaries, start shipping them out. Rely on good scouting, good youth development. Push them through. We'll have 3 years where you might not do well, but after that we can start pushing for everything again.
Look, it's very simple. Colomwani, Giroud, Messi, Aubameyang. There you go. Sign those 4 players and call it a day. Play Messi as a midfielder next to Kimmich and say Vibes FC, and I'll leave it at that. We're already playing Vibes FC all season. If you play Kimmich instead of Goretzka, suddenly we're Vibes FC times 2. And the big issue is we don't know who is selling. That's the issue as well. We don't know how much money we're making. We don't know who we're selling. It's all a question mark. So there's no point really speculating for yet. Let's just finish the season with the game against Werder Bremen tomorrow. Let's win that, and let's continue with. There's only 4 games left. If we win those 4 games, it's already ours. So that's just the way I see it. With that said, does anyone have any final anything before I end this? Because I'm getting tired.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with a 1-1 prediction for tomorrow. That's what I'm gonna say.
Like I said, I think it will be tough, but I can see a lot of players being sold in the summer. Then players coming in. This is how I see our summer. And by that, what I mean is players will get sold in the summer, and then players will come in. Maybe a couple, maybe 2 players will come in, and then I would say the board is also going to change. I feel it. I feel Oliver Kahn losing his job. I feel Brazil losing their job. I just don't know why, man. I just don't know why. There's just some funny feeling, and I can see Uli Hoeneß's son taking over. I just don't know why, but yeah.
Well, here's a few remarks, final thoughts from me. First thing I want to say before I get to my score prediction for the Werder Bremen game, there are 2 things that I want to say. First of all, I've opened up the membership function on the channel for those that are interested. There are at this point no rewards, so there are no custom emotes, there are no exclusive videos or anything of that sort. The membership function is open, and there are no rewards right now, there will be in the future. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can join now for future rewards, so to speak. Although I think that's a bit stupid, but hey, do you? Do you? I'm a great salesman, aren't I? Second thing, my prediction for the game is a simple, very easy 1-0 victory. I think we're gonna win through a penalty by Kimmich in the 80th minute. I hope it's a controversial penalty. I really do. I want it to be like a penalty where it really shouldn't have been a penalty, but the referee, he had his eyes closed and he got a little bit of bribery money, and then he just gives us the penalty to help us out. I hope that's the case so that everyone in the league complains and whatnot. And my final thing is I just posted a link in the chat. It's a Werder Bremen blog that I participated in today. Just answered a few questions in regards to what I thought about Werder Bremen, what I thought about Bayern, what I thought about our season, etc., etc. You get the whole gist. So for anyone that wants to hear my thought, well, not here, but anyone that wants to read my thoughts on Bayern, so on and so forth, just click on that. and it will take you there, and you can read my thoughts in full. With that said, it is the weekend. I have actually a lot of things to do this weekend, but I also don't work on Monday because Monday is bank holiday in the UK, so that's a good one. No work, woohoo! So I don't know whether the live discussion after the game for this weekend will be on Saturday, whether it'll be on Sunday, whether it'll be on Monday. It'll be one of those 3 days. But I can't say for sure just yet when, because again, I am busy this weekend. So we'll see how that all pans out. With all of that said, though, everyone that's been watching and listening, thank you very much as usual. I feel like today was very low energy for the most part. You could tell because we like spent half an hour just like coming up with random striker names. I think that's how low energy this was. But I'm just very tired, and quite frankly, the game against Werder Bremen, while obviously very important, I don't view as like the end all be all, if that makes sense. Like I'm looking forward to it, but I'm not necessarily like screaming for it, if that makes sense. Because quite frankly, as funny as this sounds, and it's why I opened up this discussion and the stream with this question to you, Daniel, whether you think that Bayern is going to win the Bundesliga, or whether you think that Dortmund is going to lose it. Again, the outcome is the same, Bayern winning it. But the reason why I asked that is because I don't think we're going to win it. I think Dortmund are going to lose it. So I don't really care what we do, as funny as that sounds. I just know that Dortmund will bottle it. Like, even if we lose against Werder Bremen tomorrow, I think that Dortmund are going to lose their game immediately as well. Like that's how I think it's going to go. I don't think it's going to be us bottling it. Sorry, us winning it. I think it's going to be them bottling it. That's just my view of this whole situation. But then again, I've had that view the whole time. And if I am wrong, you can tear me apart. But I don't think I'm going to be wrong. I never am wrong. Whenever I've ever been wrong, never. That's the simple answer.
Why did you say in the halftime against City? You said City are gonna score 3 goals. You got that one wrong.
I don't know what you're talking about. And
I don't know.
you've got no proof, all right? You've got no proof.
No, Prince. I remember. Go back. You guys go back to the City halftime discussion, man. You guys was. Prince said 3-0, man. Prince said 3-0 Bayern.
Like 5 seconds. I'm just gonna delete all my videos on my channel very quickly. With all that said, though, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, I think that's about it. Did I mention everything? I mentioned the Werder Bremen side. I mentioned that memberships are now live on the channel, and I mentioned that the post-match discussion for this week might be delayed. Yeah, that's everything now. And my result is a 1-0 victory for Bayern through a Kimmich penalty. I hope it's a controversial one. I really want it to be a controversial one. I really want the referee to like it as a penalty, like Kimmich like gets hit, or like Mane gets like slightly touched, and like, and that causes a penalty. Like that normally wouldn't have been given, but referee or VAR gives it a penalty. I hope it's something like that. I just want the Dortmund fans to continue raging. That's what I'm here for. Like I just want to see them lose it. All right. When they got like their controversial calls last week, you saw how crazy they went. They are like all that good guy vibes and all that good guy facade that they have suddenly crumbled. And I just want to see that more. I'm evil. Look, all right, I'm evil. I'm evil. All right. Sometimes I can be evil. I can be happy to laugh at other people's misfortune and sadness. It's not always the case, because oftentimes I'm just like, yeah, I don't care about them. They're too far beneath me to care. But they're not at the moment. They're too close to us, to where I want to see them fail. More than I want to see us. Actually, no, that's wrong. I actually want to see us succeed more than I want to see them fail. But it is close. It is close. I'm not gonna lie. All right. I want to see them fail almost as much as I want to see us succeed. As stupid as that sounds, just because I want to see them lose it. With that said, though, ladies and gentlemen, I know I've said this like 4 times now, so I've said with that said like 100 times already. But with that said, with that said, I'll see you all next time. We'll see you all next time. Daniel, Core, thank you very much for joining me today on this very short notice
No
as
problem.
it was. And yeah, peace out, everyone. Have a good weekend. Enjoy your weekend. Hope it goes well, and enjoy the game. I hope you're all watching it. I hope you'll all be feverishly, cheering on the team and going absolutely mad when we get that penalty in the 85th minute. And I hope you all laugh when Dortmund bottles it. That's all I want to say. That's all I want to say. Love and peace to all of you. Peace out and see ya. Bye.
Bye.